Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports, and we have with us a special guest all the way from America. We have Kendrick Johnson. Kendrick, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Getting ready to take off in the morning for Mayweather Mcgregor. Be there live in person Saturday night. Touching down the strip tomorrow afternoon for all the crazy fight week action.
So tell us a little bit about you, because people at BWTM, this is the first time they get to see you. So tell us a bit about who Kendrick Johnson is.
I'm a freelance sports reporter in America. You can catch me at every big boxing fight. I do stuff for Ring TV and do stuff with Doug Fisher them with Ring TV, and I also do cover the UFC. So I'm one of the few people that's actually seen Mayweather and McGregor fight in person in their particular principles. Along with that, I cover the NBA over here in America, a lot of basketball, and also college football and the NFL, because being from Texas, and everything's all about football down here in Texas.
So you're from Texas, you're from the land of Errol Spence.
Yeah, I go by his gym once every couple months and seen him work out a few times. To me, he's definitely going to be one of the top 2 or 3 fighters in the next 5 to 6 years. I'm looking forward to watching him and Keith Thurman fight next year. I think Thurman's a good fighter. I just think Earl's better.
Okay, shout out as well to our friend Derek James, the trainer of Errol Spence and a few other great fighters.
Derek's a very good guy. He trains one of the Charlo brothers, and they run a tight ship, and all they do is win fights and become champions over there. People don't give them the credit that they deserve.
He's training another fight by the name of Brandt, I believe. He's been fighting in the Super 8 or Super 6.
Yeah, he's putting in good work with him and giving that solid foundation, because if you know most Derek James fighters, they fight off the jab and they stay consistent and wait for you to make the mistake. And when you make the mistake, they capitalize. He does a good job of getting them guys in good positions to win and become champions and win belts.
So how much do you know about Brandt?
About who?
Brandt, the guy that's fighting in the super middleweight division.
A little bit, not much about him.
Okay. So McGregor, Mayweather, the one that a lot of people are talking about for the right and the wrong reasons. Let's get straight into it. If Mayweather were to lose this fight, where does that put the state of boxing?
I don't think it affects as bad as people think. The fact, because he's 40 and he's nowhere near his prime. Like, if he were to fight Earl Spence or Keith Thurman, I think at this stage of the game they could beat a 40-year-old Mayweather, being that they're 27, 28-year-old young lions. So it's like you compare him to himself, you already see there's a difference.
So
I want to see people. I went to his last 6 fights. The whole Showtime contract, I saw every fight of that in person, live and in color.
And your thoughts of this particular fight then? Obviously, you've seen both guys up close. What are your thoughts about this fight?
I think Floyd does what Floyd does, but I keep telling people I think he's going to carry him for 12 rounds to justify the money that they're making. He may knock him down once or even twice, but I think he's going to carry him for the 12 rounds and go the distance as usual. I don't see McGregor getting knocked out. He's way bigger than a Pacquiao or a Cotto. People that Floyd definitely did his thing and won, but he knocked them out, so I don't see all of a sudden how he's going to knock out Conor McGregor. He's way bigger than him.
Conor McGregor talking about he's 170 pounds. Is that going to play a part in the fight come fight night and being weight drained?
No, not at all. I think if he had an experienced fighter that knew how to use that weight and kind of give Floyd some problems, yeah. But as we all know, he's not an experienced fighter to be able to do that. So, I think it comes into play is it'll allow him not get knocked out. That's about it.
Do you buy into that he's a 0-0 fighter, or you have the stance and belief that he's had a few fights in his career as a UFC fighter and should be taken as a serious threat?
Serious threat to the fact that he's a competitor and an athlete, and he's legitimately coming. He legitimately thinks he's gonna win, which. Hey, hats off to you. You're going to make $100 million. You can believe in yourself, but I don't, from a pure standpoint, I keep telling people, how are you going to do something that some of the great boxers of all time have never been able to do? Pacquiao, a Cotto, a Mosley, they never been able to touch Floyd, so how is this man that never boxed going to be able to touch Floyd? That's just common sense.
Do you think that maybe McGregor's awkwardness could be a problem?
What style has Floyd not seen and found a way to get the job done? I don't think that's. It might take him a little bit longer than what people think to figure it out. But we saw Floyd basically out of the 6 fights I saw in person, I heard the Madonna won. I was one of the few people that had it 3-3 after 6. But when we saw the last 6 rounds, Floyd made them adjustments. That's what he does. That's what he's done his whole career.
Okay.
Even though he's a step slower, I think whatever McGregor done, those at him, it's nothing he hadn't seen before, and if it does throw him off a little bit, he'll find a way to make the adjustment.
I'm being devil's advocate here. Well, I'm trying to throw things up that people probably wouldn't consider. Okay, and the fact that Floyd is 40, he might miss a step. He might be less agile, and the things he got away with 2 years ago, he probably couldn't get away with now. The 8-ounce gloves. When's the last time you fought with 8-ounce gloves? Are those things factors in the fight? Do you think?
No, not like where everybody's thinking. But the fact that he slowed down, McGregor might be able to have a round or two. He has a little bit of success to put on his UFC highlight reel when he goes back to UFC. I can see him losing 10-2 or something like that. I was competitive, kind of have something to show about. But as far as like doing real damage and like how legit chance of winning the fight, I give him 0. But I think he might be able to have a round or two before he takes a round off or whatever to look somewhat decent and be able to have something to talk about afterwards.
Why do people focus so much on McGregor's left hand and don't focus on Floyd's right hand and his left hand?
Because they're used to watching him in UFC. In UFC, he puts people to sleep. I don't know if your audience is adverse to UFC. He beat a guy named Jose Aldo. Guy has not lost in over a decade. And he told everybody what he was going to do. He said he will simply, in his little Irish accent, he will simply overcommit. He will throw a right, I will hit him with the left, and he will fall. And that's exactly what happened. And he's talked about hitting people with the left, and they fall. And just about everybody other than Nate Diaz, when they fought at 170, has fallen when he catches him with that left hand. So there's some magic in that left hand, but this is a whole different sport in principle. He's not going to be able to play the cat and mouse game with Floyd and get away with it and win. But he does. I've seen him put people in the UFC octagon away with that left hand. That's why it's well talked about.
What have you made of the much talked about McGregor workout?
I think it's just for show. I love people got the McGregor challenge, all that stuff. But the movement stuff, there's something to that in an octagon. It does not mean a damn thing in boxing because he doesn't know the angles. And he's going against the best angle taker of all time. So it's like you can't clown a clown. You can't out-angler or in this case, you can't out-teach the teacher. But he does a lot of movement and off of stuff that's really unconventional. But if you watch him in the octagon, his moving and timing is almost pinpoint with what he do.
What did you make of the boxing community making mockery of McGregor?
I understand boxing periods. Why? How you gonna take somebody serious that is not even a real boxer?
Okay.
I see why people are not taking it. But like I told my dad, he doesn't even watch the fights. He's like, yeah, man, should I go watch it with my friend? I'm like, enjoy the event because we might not see this again in our lifetime. Enjoy it as an event versus looking at it from a peer boxer because if anything, it's an exhibition, not a fight.
Okay, one fight that was not an exhibition, or it was an exhibition of masterclass, Terence Crawford against Julius.
Who's he? Oh.
What did you think of that performance?
He did a good job. He did what he had to do, but beautiful body shot. Once he put the work in, like you could tell he was going for it. Because second round, once he dropped him, it's like, I got this. He had the crowd. He knew he had to steal the show and seize the moment. I like that. He did what he had to do. But on the flip side, there's craziness with him being number 1 pound for pound. They need to stop all that. Like, I give him maybe top 5, but you got to beat somebody. And I'm a big Lomachenko guy. You cannot be number 1 if you got as many fingers as fights. You can't do that.
So,
it doesn't work that way.
So how does it
but
work?
Terence Crawford did what he had to do and got him out of there. But he's in a weird position because he's definitely the best at 140. But if he goes to 147, he's going to take some losses. He's too little.
What are your thoughts on the Lomachenko pound for pound number 1 ahead of Andre Ward?
I like Lomachenko. He puts on a show. He clowns on people while he's beating them up. Great fighter, but you got to respect the resume. Like, this is all about what you have done. At the end of the day, people thought Andre Ward was going to lose to Sergey Kovalev. He beat him. I was there. I was at the first one. And the second one, people thought was going to be a hell of a fight. He stopped him. You got to give him his props. It was that easy to do that. How come nobody else has done it?
Thank you. So Lomachenko, Rigondeaux, rumor about November or December.
Yeah, I got hit up this morning. Hold on, let me see what my guy told me an exact date out of source.
I think it was either November 10th or November 11th or December 10th. I think it was December 10th or 11th.
Our source says December 9th, 2017.
There you go. What do you think of that? 3-weight division is climbing up?
I think it'll be a good pure fight, but I'm going to touch Lomachenko. I think Lomachenko will be one of the few people that he has the strength to be able to get inside on Rigondeaux, and he's going to make Rigondeaux fight. And I don't think Rigondeaux's got the power to get him off of him.
What do you think if they kind of brought the fight? Lomachenko moved down and Rigondeaux moved up rather than Rigondeaux having to move all the way to 130. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That'll be interesting because that gives him a shot, I think, brother. That definitely gives him a shot versus going all the way up to 135. But Lomachenko didn't look too bad at 130, but he did lose at 130.
Okay, here's something to give to you here. Shane Mosley jumped from, I think, lightweight. Was it lightweight right up to welterweight? In one fight for the Oscar De La Hoya. He fought him twice. He moved from lightweight right up to welterweight. And he was knocking guys out all over the place at lightweight. Rigondeaux, can he make that move to lightweight? Or would you...
I don't think so, because I don't think he got enough power. I've seen him fight a couple of times. I know he has a nice, pure, amateur-type boxing style.
Yep.
But I don't think that's going to be good enough to be somebody... He'd be able to be successful at that weight class, but as far as beating Lomachenko at that weight class, I don't see it, because Lomachenko has the power. He has the pure boxing ability to play chess with him, so to speak. And he just has that X factor that I don't think Rigondeaux has. That will, on a big stage like that, the X factors mean a lot that people don't. That's why Bernard Hopkins fought as long as he did. He had that X factor along with taking care of his body. That's how he fought like till he's damn near 50.
When you talk about X factor, you're talking about Canelo and his fight against Triple G. Your thoughts?
Man, I go back and forth sometimes. I mean, like, I tend to go with the younger fighters, especially at a fireworks show with this, because either we're going to see a hell of a fight, or we're going to see Triple G turn into Sergio Martinez and Canelo be Cotto. One of the two's going to happen. It's not going to be an in-between. And I keep going back and forth with it. I think at the end of the day, we're going to see a throwdown war, which I think any throwdown war and close decision benefits Canelo. If it's if Triple G has the same type of fight he had with Danny Jacobs, he is not getting this decision.
He's not getting his decision.
He's like, are we gonna hear when they do the cards? He has for let's go Mexico, and they're gonna go crazy. That's all you gonna hear. I think Canelo's last 6 fights, so I'm used to hearing that.
I think Canelo's gonna stop him. I think he's gonna stop him.
I will say that, but the thing is, Canelo, if he doesn't get him early, Canelo doesn't. If you look at the longer fights go, other than the Chavez fight, Canelo puts less and less combinations. It's like I don't think they don't necessarily lose steam, but his combinations are go from like 3 to 4, like 1, 2 to 1, and he relies on his power to get him through. Yep. But if they turn into like a Mexican shootout, like I said, I've been in his last 6 fights. I went to. The only one I haven't been to in the last like 3 or 4 years is the Lara fight. Right. I went to Mayweather, Trout, the Kirkland knockout, the Khan fight, the Smith fight, and the Chavez fight.
See, for me, I think Canelo can fight off the front foot and the back foot. I think Golovkin's only a front foot fighter.
I agree with that, but the thing with Canelo is he's very technical for a Mexican fighter, which in this case, fighting Triple G, even though Triple G's a tad bit bigger than him, benefits him, who he do not want to see. And it's just a style, it's not even a race thing. It's some athletic brothers like the Charlo brothers or Earl Spence. Any one of those 3 guys can get him, and I think that La Hoya and Golden Boy are going to dodge him. That type of style. That's the type of style, if you look up, slick style, kind of like a lot of African Americans bring to the table, gives him problems because they're not sitting there like a robot like Triple G going to be, and he knows what he's going to be. They make him reload, and that gives him a lot of problems, and they don't want to act like they do, but if you notice, he ain't looking to fight the Charlos. He ain't looking to fight. Even Earl Spence, who's 2 weight classes longer than him, technically, right?
Yep, good point.
But so Triple G fight is actually an easier fight for Canelo, and it benefits him versus fighting that style.
Got to mention my man Carson Jones versus Tony Margarito, September 2nd, I believe. Your thoughts?
I think you don't know. I was, to me, Margarito was I don't say a overrated fighter, but even when he was in his prime, I thought he was all okay.
Okay.
So he has to fight like almost 2 years, so we don't know what Margarito going to show up. But you got Carson Jones definitely has a shot.
Let's finalize this off. Within the next 3 to 5 hours, with BWTM, are exclusively going to know whether Bermain Stavern is going to sidestep, take the step aside money, or he's going to fight Deontay Wilder. We're going to know whether the next 2-3 hours, because Bermain's going to exclusively call us. So he'll be calling us as he signs the contract. So, if you were a betting man, what would you go for? Stavern stepping aside against Wilder, or would you go for Stavern going and facing Wilder in a rematch if you were a betting man?
Betting man, I think he wants the rematch, but from a business sense, I think it'd be better for him to step aside. But for just doing Bermain that I know, he likes to fight. He felt that Deontay basically kind of caught him slipping or caught him off guard. I think he wants that rematch really bad. So he'd rather find out, so having regrets, he wants to just put it out there and let the chips fall where they may. So I think Bermain be signing that contract because he don't want to step aside. But it would make sense for him to step aside.
Okay. Kendrick Johnson, is there anything you want to tell the people of BWTM Sports listening to you now?
Hey, look for me to bring in some exclusive interviews on boxing and UFC. I may have some stuff this week. Hey, speaking of that, maybe you can give me Bermain's in Las Vegas. I can go by and get an interview with them tomorrow or on Wednesday and have it up on the YouTube site.
Sounds
That's
good.
how we do it out here.
Sounds good. I'll have a word with him and see what he says.
All right.
Okay. Kendrick, thank you so much for talking to BWTM Sports. We look forward to hearing from you and hearing about Mcgregor and Mayweather and getting some exclusive stuff from you.
Thanks. Look forward to it.
Kendrick, thank you so much for talking to BWTM.